Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the TVS Electronics Limited's Q3 and 9-month FY’25 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Nupur Jain Kunya from Valorem Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to you all. My name is Nupur Jain Kunya from Valorem Advisors. We represent the investor relations of TVS Electronics Limited. On behalf of the company and Valorem Advisors, I would like to thank you all for participating in the company's earnings call for the third quarter and 9 months of financial year 2025. Before we begin, let me mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's earnings call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risk and uncertainties, which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's belief as well as assumptions made by the information currently available to the management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's earnings call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and financial quarter under review. Let me now introduce you to the management participating with us in today's earnings call and hand it over to them for opening remarks. We have with us Mrs. Sriladita Gopal, Managing Director, and Mr. A.K. Vedivelu, CFO of the company. Without any further delay, I request Mrs. Sriladita Gopal to start with her opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Nupur. I would like to know if there are any new attendees on the call as compared to the last earnings call. Is it something that you can tell me, Nupur? I will assume that there could be, there may not be. Let me continue. For those who are joining us for the first time, I will take you through a background of who we are. TVS Electronics, or TVS as it is popularly known, was incorporated in 1986 under the leadership of Mr. Gopal Srinivasan, a member of the illustrious TVS family. We are headquartered in Chennai and have a state-of-the-art manufacturing plant located in Tumkuru, Karnataka. Our vision is to be an integrated electronic solutions provider for B2B customers. The overall performance of the company is reviewed under 2 business units, Products and Solutions Group and Customer Support Services. In the Products and Solutions Group, we aspire to be a single-point solutions provider. The 2 offerings that we have are point-of-transaction products and integrated solutions. Our point-of-transaction products mainly consist of input devices, computing devices, validation devices, and output devices. And the integrated solutions, we offer our own software solution, TVS ePay for retail customers, and also have a set of solutions through our partner ecosystem. These include hardware ecosystems based in Taiwan, Korea, and China. Software ecosystems mainly consist of Royal POS, SnapBiz, and Vyapar, and the third is an analytics ecosystem that we are building. While we cannot share any forward-looking numbers, we'd like to share the addressable market size as we currently assess is around 2,000 crores, for which our market share is about 18 to 20%. This segment of our business contributes almost 70% of our revenues. The Customer Support Services business unit, we aspire to be the first choice after-sales service partner. Our focus is on field support services, infra-managed services, O&M services, and electronic manufacturing services. The field support services cater to IT and IT peripherals and predominantly cover 15,000 postal codes and 2,400 field agents. For large customers like Dell, HP, and others, we provide break-fix and maintenance services. Under field support, we also cater to the banking sector, where some large banks and financial service companies have break-fix arrangements with us for their EDC terminals. Under customer support services, we also have identified the following growth areas for TVSC. The first is infrastructure managed services for IT and IT peripherals. Second is operations and maintenance for solar, followed by electronic manufacturing services. The broad serviceable market for field support services is about 500 crores. Infra-managed services is about 4,500 crores. and operations and maintenance services is 350 crores. We're looking at an addressable market about 5,350 crores for the entity in total. In EMS, we mainly aim to address box build opportunities, exploring Make in India opportunities at tech partners. We also exploring tech opportunities for tech partners. We are confident that the newly identified growth areas will place TVS in a good position for the coming decade. I'd like to ask CFO of TVS Electronics, Mr. A.K. Velu, to now provide some key financial and operational highlights for the quarter under review. Velu, your turn.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the earnings call. Let me first brief you on the financial performance for the period under review. For the third quarter of the financial year 2025, the consolidated revenue from operations stood at around 100 crores, which increased by 15% year-on-year. EBITDA for the quarter was around 3 crores, representing a significant increase year-on-year, and net loss was reported at approximately 70 lakhs, which has also reduced on both year-on-year and quarter-on-quarter basis. For the 9 months ended financial year 2025, the consolidated revenue from operations stood at around 316 crores, which increased by approximately 17% year-on-year. EBITDA for the 9 months was around 9 crore, representing a growth of 27% year-on-year, and the net loss was reported at approximately 3 crores. For the third quarter under review, the products and solutions vertical generated a revenue of 69 crore, representing a growth of 10% year-on-year. While the segment registered a year-on-year growth of 16% for 9 months period. The increase in revenue in the products and solutions vertical is attributed to the increase in businesses with the government and BFSI customers. Further, the retail segment, where we are expanding our reach as a single point solution provider, also contributed to increase in revenue. The customer support service vertical generated a revenue of 31 crore in Q3 FY'25, representing an increase of 28% year-on-year growth. The segment registered a year-on-year growth of 21% for the 9-month period. The increase in revenue in the customer support vertical is attributable to increase in the volume from existing customers and addition of few niche customers, few new businesses. With that, we can now open the floor for the questions and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to withdraw yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to please use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. We have the first question from the line of Ashok B. Jain from Ayush Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening. I just had one question. You had indicated in your earlier presentations that the phase 1 of the newly inducted surface mount lines, the SMT, the phase 1 is going to be used for captive consumption. So I was wondering, when we use our own PCB assemblies and box build solutions for captive consumption, how much EBITDA do we presume to increase in our products and solutions category? Thank you.
See, I would just like to clarify. One of the purposes to use is the SMT line for internal captive purposes. The main purpose is to generate business from external third-party customers. Currently we are using the line mainly for our internal captive consumption.
Oh, it's already in use for captive?
Yeah, it is already in use for captive.
Okay, all right.
And from EBITDA perspective, we expect in the short run, it may not have much impact as it is all the newly started and there will be under recovery of cost. But over a period of time, we expect at least 1% to 2% improvement in our EBITDA through these initiatives.
Okay.
For the internal consumption, capital consumption.
Okay. Okay. And have we found any external customers to begin with?
As we already mentioned, we are working on it. As and when the onboarding happens, we will announce to the in the common forum.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Participants, if you wish to ask questions, you may please press star and 1. We have the next question from the line of Zaki Nasir, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am and sir. Sir, although we see increased use of all the products TVS makes, what is your view on the cheap imports available and the government action on promoting Make in India? Do you see it happen on the ground?
Good evening, Mr. Nasir. What exactly, can you just please re-clarify your question? What are you looking for?
See, the point of sale products, whatever segment we are into, I mean, the use is increasing, but so is the availability of cheap imports. I mean, do you see any import restrictions or promoting the Make in India initiative?
I think the government has done a lot for Make in India initiatives and a lot more needs to be done. The scenarios are slowly evolving and we do certainly, like you rightly pointed out, see a lot of imports, finished goods from overseas which are disrupting the market. So I think the industry as a whole and the government needs to work together to see how to further ensure that the PLI or the Make in India initiative succeed. At this point of time, it's evolving, is what I would say, Mr. Nasir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, and best wishes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Manan Patel, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. So my first question is regarding the EMS business. So have we shortlisted the sectors that we want to target and any certifications that we need are in place? So can you give some update on that count? While I understand there is no business as of now, but can you give some qualitative update on the kind of sectors that we are targeting?
Good evening, Mr. Patel. Nice to have you back with us. As regards the EMS business, yes, as we have mentioned earlier also, we would like to work in the automotive and the industrial electronics segment, for which we need the IATF certification. Work on that is going on, and we should be certified in a couple of quarters max, because that needs some kind of preparation.
Okay. So is it safe to presume that for at least a couple of quarters till the certification is in place, we have to only use the SMT line for captive purposes, or there are other sectors also that we can do? I understand IITF is for largely automotive. So any other sectors that we are planning to address in the meanwhile?
The industrial electronics is very much on the cards, and if our customers or rather our partners, ODM partners which are based overseas, which are out of India, if they decide to give us business, this SMT line can definitely be used for that purpose.
Okay. And ma'am, you mentioned that you are looking for opportunities to tie up with technology partners. So how do we think about that part?
The technology partners are all our ODM partners, Mr. Patel, and that effort is already on. Not sure what else did you mean by technology partner. I think, did you have anything in specific which I can help you with?
No, as in to bring in any technology that we can use for manufacturing for other customers, in that sense, not for the business itself.
No, so the technology for that will be provided by the customer whom we sign up with, right? When we cannot have our own technology. If you're manufacturing for somebody, they will have to help us with the tech transfer. And as and when we have a really big customer or a good tech customer, that will happen.
On the product side, ma'am, you mentioned 2,000 crore market size. So can you would you have any idea how fast that market is growing and how are we increasing the market share or market share is stagnant?
My understanding is the market is growing at about 8 to 10%. Last year and year before were particularly difficult market years, but I think overall it's about 8 to 10% is the growth that has been attributed to the segment, Mr. Patel.
Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask questions, you may please press star and 1 on your touchtone telephones. We have the next question from the line of Abhijit Periwal from APSEC. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am, and Vedu, sir. This is regarding the EMS once again. There was a recent newspaper report which said that down the line, it quoted, I think the officials of the company also, that down the line you would be looking at 5 to 6 SMT lines and that half the turnover should come from this particular sector. If you could throw some light as to if there is a path for how many years do you expect to get to that level? And also, are you, ma'am, satisfied with the progress of the EMS division as to how things are going? We started, I think, that division somewhere in 1st of April. Is the work happening as per your satisfaction, and any further qualitative aspects which you can share?
Mr. Periwal, thank you. Thank you for coming back on the call. I think what I would like to say is definitely satisfied with the way the EMS is progressing. And as and when the growth happens, the additional lines will come. At this point of time, I think it is purely subject to the growth of the business. And as the business grows, I think we should be in a position to add the lines as required.
Okay. But do you say 5, 6 lines in the next 3 years or 2 years, anything which you would say? I think it could be more of an aim rather than a forward-looking statement as to what would be your aim over the next 2 years.
The aim remains the same, whatever we've committed. Not sure whether 5 years, 3 years, or a few quarters. Actually, to be honest, it's very difficult to predict. Line can be set up really quickly. The business goes really fast. Those number of lines can come fast. Business doesn't come in. Those lines in 3 years also will not make any meaning.
Okay. And like you just shared that along with the fact that the auto part, there were certain certifications required. Earlier it was mentioned that most of it were coming in December. I think that was mentioned in the last call. What I currently understand, you said that they could take some more quarters. Is there anything in between which has happened which has led to the revision in the timelines?
No, I think it's just the certification is a process. And the IATF certification is something that we are doing for the first time. So obviously the auditors, the team is very particular that they do get it right the first time around. And hence the certification process has taken a little longer than what we expected.
Okay. And the consumer electronics part, industrial electronics or consumer electronics, you mentioned one.
Industrial electronics, yes.
Industrial electronics.
Which is what we already are in our captive consumption. If you notice, all the equipment goes into the industrial electronics category.
True. So, there you're looking to tie up with some foreign guys. That's where from Southeast Asia or something. That's the expectation that you're expecting some clients from that side? Or that's more of local?
Correct. No, all that is from outside, but the people, our ODMs have to decide to invest in India. I think that all depends on the previous question which one of our participants also asked on the success of Make in India and the PLI schemes. So they're all sort of related. And those have to be attractive for our ODMs to come and invest in India in a big time. And same goes for our partners too.
Oh, that would be good then, in case, they think of making India, so then we get more.
True. I think we're all hoping, I think the whole industry is hoping that there's a lot of, the market manufacturing market in India will be really good.
Great, true. And ma'am, for say 5-6 lines, whenever it happens, would you be looking more at internal accruals or you looking loans or fresh? I think a similar question I had asked last time also, if there's more idea on that side.
The answer is the same. I think we answered you in detail last time. It's very well.
So, okay, so as in when it happens.
The answer also.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Fine. And ma'am, point of sale side, I think there were a lot of efforts happening on the organized retail direction, where I think Trent and all these guys are also our clients. Any light you can put on that side as to whether the unorganized one, the distributor part is growing, or this retail specific one is growing fast, and how many new clients are we able to get? Some sort of more idea.
It's very well there. As you must have realized, the retail sector has been the growth has been very slow, and it's been quite a dampener as regards to that. So we are actually waiting and watching as to how this will pan out.
But as I also see, ma'am, that the quick commerce side has done extremely well, and we have AIDC products, so with the barcodes and all those things. So do we see traction at our end due to that, or that's something?
Yeah, AIDC has been a new entrant. We have been a new entrant to AIDC. So as far as we are concerned, that's a new initiative, and it has to sort of, as a new entrant, all the entry barriers which we face, we continue to face. So we are working on that, and hopefully you'll see how the traction transforms.
Okay. And ma'am, it's been mentioned on the product side. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time, but I thought I'll just finish my questions. In case to get back to you, please let me know. So in the government side, which you're saying, these are the more of printer sales that are doing very well. It has been mentioned in that note, the presentation. The smaller printers which are doing well.
That's right, the mobile printers.
Yeah, the one with fingerprints and all that. That is where the traction is.
Yeah, that's where the traction is, because if you notice, the Department of Posts was one big customer, a couple of others who are looking at taking the print or the business to the last mile into much more to the heart of India. That's where the mobile printers are being used and commissioned. And that's where the use case has increased. So,
over and above the Department of Posts, any other place where you think they will be used down the line?
All depends on how the government rolls out these initiatives, Mr. Pariwal.
Okay.
Without commenting on the way the government works, the hope that they will digitize soon and quickly. But every time there is a election, if there is something, these projects keep getting delayed. So we really don't have a real-time understanding of how these things work at this point.
Okay. And lastly, ma'am, on the infra managed services and the solar part, if you can throw more light as to how have the number of megawatts under O&M which have gone up, or any consultancy work, and also in infra managed over and above the earlier clients, if some more clients have been added.
So the clients remain the same as far as the O&M service is concerned. Tata Power is a big customer for us. And as they grow, we will grow to them. Yes, we have added a few more megawatts, and I think we hope to end the year with about 800 to 900 megawatts under management, and
wow.
It will consistently grow on that side. On the IMS side, we're yet to crack any big customer, and when that happens, you'll definitely hear from us.
Ma'am, when you say 800 megawatts is under your O&M, how big is the revenue? Because it looks huge, 800 megawatts.
The revenue is very small. 800 megawatts has no connotation with the revenue. The revenue is the service part, Mr. Parisal. We've got nothing else to do other than maintenance and management, which will be a small part of that. The megawatts means that the installation sizes. So you can have rooftop solar, you can have all of that. So so each say installation size is say 100 megawatts, or 50 megawatts, or say 200 megawatts. Accumulation of that is what it is. But the service revenue from that has no relation to the size of the installation. No relation as in it's not as large as the number that you seem to be thinking.
Okay. Yeah, true. I thought 140 megawatts to 800 sounded that there was a quantum jump. All right, ma'am. Thanks for answering all the questions. I'll get back in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ashok B. Jain from Ayush Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, in auto electronics from the EMS side, what sort of product are we specifically looking at contract manufacturing? And is the EV transition going to help us for entering into the newer categories of products that will come up specifically on the EV side? Thank you.
Mr. Jain, in auto electronics, we are looking at accessories that go into the automotive segment. Obviously, the main and the other electronics are already taken care of by the OEM. This is an exploration, or we're also looking at working with people who give us subcontracting, smaller components on the accessories side. EV will definitely help this initiative.
Okay. What sort of accessories, ma'am, specifically?
We are exploring, Mr. Jain. I can't give you any specific answers at this point in time.
Okay. So you're also looking at supplying to within the TVS group, because they seem to be making giant strides on the EV side of things.
Again, I'm not at liberty to talk about those things, because anything that we work with would be a violation of our agreements with them.
Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Participants, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. We have the next question from the line of Manan Patel, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity again. So the question is on the margins. So there is slight improvement in the gross margins, but the EBITDA margins are pretty low, and it barely covers. It doesn't even cover the depreciation. So wanted to understand what is the time frame do we look at in terms of breaking even at PBT level? So is it like next 1 year, 2 years? How do we think about breaking even at the PBT level?
It's a good question, Manan Patel. I think, as you would have seen, the revenue is already growing at 15 to 17%. Okay, and we continue to manage our cost tightly with various initiatives. And already you see the EBITDA is at 3%. And as explained in the earlier calls, we are continuing to invest 2 to 3% of our revenue in growth initiatives like EMS and R&D. Okay, so in the short term, yes, as we continue to invest, we are seeing that at a bottom PBT level, there is a negative margin. However, we expect, like in the future, this investment of 2 to 3% expected to contribute for growth much bigger than what we are growing 15%, and expected to result in a positive margin at the bottom line.
Okay. And in terms of employee costs, so we are at around 19 crores per quarter right now in December quarter. So do you think this is the base number, or this should keep growing in next few quarters, or it will stay stable?
See, the major initiatives, we have already made our investments towards employee costs, with having all the business heads and business team and the operations team required to run a factory and everything. But as the business grows, you will require the operational team to add it up in proportion to the growth in business. And we have to continue to invest on business development. So these two we will continue to invest as the business grows.
But so that will be in line with the top line growth, or it will initially, at least for a few quarters, will increase disproportionately and then maybe stabilize down the line?
Yeah, initially it may increase little faster, but I think it will stabilize as the revenue grows much little faster than for the revenue growth from all the new initiatives.
Got it. So last, more of a comment than a feedback. So, ma'am, most of the investors are waiting for this company to grow exponentially, and in the kind of field that we are, all of our listed peers are growing at a breakneck speed. So we also want this company, TVS Electronics, also to grow at that speed. So it would be great over next maybe couple of calls, you could sort of indicate directionally what kind of speed we can expect from a company like us. And like we have a very good vintage, very good brand, very good balance sheet. Everything looks pretty good, but the delivery on growth is sort of missing. And we have been taking initiatives, but it would be great if we can give some comment in terms of what kind of growth can we expect in a few quarters, so that we know what milestones to track. Otherwise, we are at this point, we are just sort of in the dark, and we don't know what will happen in the next quarter also, or maybe in the next few years. While we are not short-term investors, might be looking 3 to 5 years out, but it would be great to have some milestones to sort of track the company also. So that is just a comment from my side, and thank you. Please keep doing this call. It's helpful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and appreciate the suggestion. Definitely will work on this note for the investor call.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 if you wish to ask questions. Participants who wish to ask questions may please press star and 1 at this time. We have the next question from the line of Abhijit Periwal from APSEC. Please go ahead.
Thanks once again. Just continuing with what Man just mentioned, ma'am. Ma'am, as a general feedback from the stock market side, I reiterate that if there is more elaborate, communication from the company, be in terms of aims, be it in terms of one-on-one conversation, the investor interest in terms of where the company is going, considering the pedigree, considering the initiative, considering the new guys whom you have taken, everything will actually, as stock market investors, we need more feedback from you all. So in case more particulars in terms of numbers, I understand qualitatively one is saying, but more in terms of numbers and exact things that, okay, maybe in this year we might add 2 customers, we are actively talking to them. Something of that sort, if can be done, it will be highly appreciated. Sorry. Thanks once again.
Thanks, Mr. Periwal, and I think you have been very earlier also very interactive, and you have given us very constructive feedback. I take it from you, take it from Mr. Patel, and all of that. And I think we will come back to you at the right time. I don't think there is any point in jumping up and talking about things before those are ready. I know the investor community is frustrated. I know the investor community thinks we are keeping them in the dark. Maybe not on purpose, but that's a policy which the company is following. We will find the right time and engage a little more if that makes sense at the right time. But I think for now, I would definitely request patience from the community. I know it's tough, but it's the only thing I can mention at this point of time.
Sure, ma'am. Sure. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1. Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to ask questions, you may press star and 1. We have no further questions at this time. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management from TVS Electronics Limited for closing remarks. Over to you.
Thank you all for participating in this earnings call. It really was very illuminative. I hope we were able to answer some of your questions satisfactorily and give a little more insight into our business. If you have any further questions or would like to know more about us, please do reach out to Valorum Advisors. We will work with them to satisfy your answers. Looking forward to having this call again in next quarter. All the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. On behalf of TVS Electronics Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you all for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.